welcome back to the Nova Show, Real Estate Records. I am Danna Castro, your host for today's episode. And today I have Helene Brown. Helene is a Utah real estate professional known for her strong attention to detail and her ability to guide buyers and sellers through complex transactions with confidence. With a background that reflects both professionalism and a relationship-driven approach, she focuses on creating a smooth, informed experience for her clients. Today, we're diving into her journey in real estate and how she approaches the business today and what she is seeing in the market. So thank you so much for joining us, Helene.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And for our listeners today, could you introduce yourself and share about who you are?
Sure. So my name is Helene Brown. I am a realtor in Utah for the last 6+ years. I have, I really love being a real estate agent. So I don't know. I love this job because I get to help people.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to that. That's what I really love about it.
Yeah, it is such a great position to be. But what originally drew you into real estate?
Well, I have a background in law. So I went to law school, BYU Law, back in the 90s, and then practiced as a public defender in Salt Lake City for a while before my husband and I moved to Seattle area for him to take a job at Microsoft. And, eventually I did take the bar in Washington State, but decided after, my second child was born that leaving the practice was what I needed to do at that time because doing two little kids, 2 preschoolers, just wasn't, I would go to work to pay for the daycare. It just the numbers didn't work.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
So I just sort of became a professional mom. Like it was the opposite of a stay-at-home mom because we never stayed home. Like we were always out doing adventures. Like we were going to the salmon ladders or we're going out to Tiger Mountain, or we would be, me and my friends would just take our kids and we would go. So I was rarely home. We were always out with the kids somewhere.
Yeah, that's
going
so
to the
fun.
science museum, something educational, something fun. So I love that time. And then when my kids went into school, I became like that professional volunteer, running organizations. So like I was the PTA president and on the board for years. I ran the summer Cub Scout summer day camp. So for years, and did fundraisers and things like that for charities. And that was great. And I loved it. But we eventually moved to North Carolina. But ultimately, and I was starting to do long-term substitute teaching where I would take over a classroom for a teacher who was out for a long time or was left. Mm-hmm. And so I taught like music and math and science and English and every subject and just, would just jump into it. But being the actual teacher and being the one who was interacting with the students, not a day sub where you basically a glorified babysitter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for those of you who do that. I found it to be completely boring. And I just didn't have any satisfaction from it. Mm-hmm. But doing the long-term subbing was a lot of fun because I got thrown into like the lion's den. Like you got here, take over this PE class. And you have to hit all these, it's health and PE class, and you have to hit all these state required subjects. And you have and we're not going to give you a guide. You have to just sort of like make up your own classes. And so I had to
keep
do
them
that.
busy.
Yeah. Well, no, but I had to like make sure that the units we were teaching covered the subjects that the state required.
Oh, right.
So I had to do that on the fly. And the principal who said, I'll do the lesson planning for you. Oh, that was a lie. I had to do the lesson planning. Dang and it. I had to learn how to do a lesson plan.
Yeah.
But actually that like first time doing the long-term subbing, it ended up really fantastic because this was at my son's school. It was like a charter school in North Carolina called Research Triangle High School. Just in the first couple of years, the second year it was there, we were in this converted strip mall, and we didn't have a gym. There was no gym.
Oh, no gym.
But I was made the PE teacher, and let's just say the previous PE teacher was less than desirable. And so I got, put in charge, and I said, well, we're actually going to do PE, physical ed, and health. So I just said, we're going to do yoga in the common area.
Yeah.
And at the end of my time, I said, and we're going to do like a March Madness tournament. Every class got divided into basketball teams, and I taught them, basics of basketball. And then we had a class against class tournament at lunch over the week of one of the weeks of Match Madness. And then the winning team got to play a faculty team. So that
Oh, wow.
the winning, and then they got, candy as the treat. So the winning team got to play the teachers, and it was so cool. And the whole school was out watching.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that was so much fun. And so, yeah, I mean, then they hired a new PE teacher, and then I went back to, being on the board and being the PTA president. But, then I got asked to do another class, and then I was teaching chemistry, or then I was teaching English. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So how was that transition from being like a substitute teacher to going into real estate?
Well, we moved back to Utah to help
Yes.
take care of my parents. And then after they passed and I was in charge of getting their house ready to sell. That's sort of where the sort of idea came of becoming a real estate agent, because we had the chance of just selling it to a flipper
Yeah.
or preparing it for market ourselves. And I said, told my siblings, why in the world would we take X number of dollars when we can spend less and prepare it and just do the things we need to do to prepare it for market? And so I convinced them to let's just spend the money and repaint the house and get new carpet and do the things we needed to do. And we sold it for a lot more than we would have got it for, even taking into account how much money we spent doing the renovation.
Yeah. But you got the house ready yourself, and you
Well,
invested it on
me and my
yourself.
husband did a lot of scraping of wallpaper, a lot of the sweat equity ourselves, and
Yeah.
taking all the stuff out. My mom had collected a huge, wasn't quite a hoarder, but close. So we filled up 3 dumpsters full of things, and we
Wow.
had to go through it, make sure we didn't throw away anything valuable or
Yeah.
sentimental that we wanted to keep. And then, so yeah, we did. That took a long time, but that's sort of like, then I got done with that, and then I was just doing day subbing and just kind of bored and a little tutoring, and then it was like trying to find out what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go back to the practice of law. I would have had to take the bar over again since I had been inactive for so long, and didn't really appeal to me anymore. I didn't want to do that, and so, but I wanted to use those skills.
Yeah.
And all the skills I developed as a professional mom. And so I just made a list of things I wanted a new job to have. And, the number one thing was a challenge. I was kind of bored. I wanted to connect with people. That was like a job that I could connect with people. I didn't want to be in a cubicle somewhere.
Yeah.
And I wanted I wanted low barriers to entry. So it's really low barriers. All you out there, there's really low barriers to becoming a real estate agent. It's not that difficult, and it doesn't take years of education or anything like that. Now that to be a good agent, that's a different question, but the barriers to entry are low and it's not expensive. And then the fourth thing was, I wanted to have potential to grow my bit to make money doing this, and have it be worth my time financially.
Yeah.
So those were like the 4 things I was looking for. And so just sitting and meditating and praying on that for a number of weeks, just those 4 things I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I tried a few different things on. It just didn't feel right. And I was just sitting at my desk one day, and the idea sort of popped in my head, become a real estate agent. Really never even thought of it before. How about a real estate agent fits everything you're looking for? And I'm like, so then I just got on the internet, started Googling, oh yeah, well, challenge, yes, 80 to 85% of new agents do not renew their license. So it's going to be a challenge. It's not an easy career to break into. It's not an easy career to be successful at.
Right.
And so that's the challenge right there. Okay. Connection. Well, I would be helping people, and I could use my skills as an attorney that I learned and running the PTA and all this stuff like that. I've learned I can use those skills. And then connecting and serving people, that's right there. And then, if I'm successful at this, then I'm gonna be able to, do well, and financially. So that part would also be there, and low barriers to entry, check.
Yep.
So it just met all the boxes what I was looking for.
Oh, that sounds so perfect. What are kind of some challenges that you found going into it?
Well, buying a home or selling a home is a really big decision.
Oh,
And
yes.
why would anybody trust somebody brand new? I think being a brand new agent, that's the hardest part is like, and then of course you feel like, because there's so much information thrown at you. And whenever you're starting anything new, this is true for any field.
Yeah.
When you're starting something new, the information overload is pretty high.
Oh, 100%.
And then there's the whole imposter syndrome that's happening like in your own head. At least I think it's pretty common. Like, there's all these other agents I hear who are more experienced than me, and I can't, I can't compare to that, especially when you're a brand new agent. But then I said to myself, well, I can teach chemistry and I could invent this. I can be a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I've had the experience. I could walk into the Salt Lake County jail. Why can't I can be a real estate agent? It's not, it's actually, so my past experience gave me the confidence to just say, because that's really what it's about. You need to be confident in your abilities. And I can read a contract. It's like, these are not complicated contracts. I can read these contracts. I can understand what's happening. I can explain this to my clients. I can understand where we need to be, and I can study the market. These are all things that are in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Like those are things that's my strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
So the part that was not my strong suit was, getting out of my own head and making the connections with people. And that's, that's where I think the biggest challenge was getting out there, making the phone calls, making the connections, and just believing in myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the really important part. And I think a lot of agents fail because, I think they think it's going to be easier than it is. And it's actually quite difficult to actually get those first clients and get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I think most people start off with their friends and family, and but they also need. That's why I chose, because when I was studying which brokerage to go to, I was looking for one that would have a good training program, and a lot of support, and so that's really why I chose to start at, and that's where I still am. I do enjoy my brokerage a lot.
Great. Yeah.
So
that's so good. If you had to start prospecting all over again, what were the ways that you liked to do it? What was the ways that you preferred to do?
Well, my very first client came from hosting an open house for an agent who needed somebody to do an open house.
Oh, really?
And so that I would start there, start doing open houses for other agents and looking for people who came in without representation and try to, just build relationships there and, be ready to show them other homes and just help. That's where I got started. I would start that way.
When was the moment that it felt like it finally clicked for you? Like you're like, you know what? I'm not an imposter no more. I am the real deal.
I think when I won Rookie of the Year at 2021.
Really?
So, yeah. I in the state of Utah, I was the number one highest producing new agent in 2021.
Congratulations. How'd you feel?
Really great. I felt great.
How do you handle situations where expectations and the market is kind of not the same?
It's always different.
Yeah.
The market's always different. It's always changing. And if you have to be nimble and you have to be following the news and following what's going on and you have to keep informing yourself and be adaptive.
Yeah.
And even within the state of Utah, there's micro markets within even like Salt Lake County.
Yeah.
Like South Jordan is going to be completely different than Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
And East Sandy is going to be completely different than West Sandy. And so you have to sort of be dialed when you are looking in an area. You need to be really local, hyper local, really.
Yeah.
Because like something could be completely moving really quickly in one part that you could have a very similar house, but it's in a different location and it's not going to have the same kind of, it's not going to move as fast. So, or it will be priced differently. So you just have to be really aware of the hyper local markets here, even in Salt Lake County.
Yeah.
So Draper to Magna is completely different.
Completely different.
It's completely different. Yeah.
I feel like Magna, has been growing so much.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Like
But it's also more affordable. And so
Really?
you see a lot of people going to Magnet who have affordability, who are looking for more affordability. There's a lot of new builds going up on the West Bench. And so, but they're also, if you look at the price points, more affordable. Same square footage, you put that in the East Bench, by the zoo, and you're going to be paying twice as much per square foot.
Do you feel like the market's so different here because there's so much new construction? Do you feel like that ever affects the market?
New construction is really one of the entry points for new first-time home buyers because builders are giving great incentives right now. You can get interest rate buy downs and these 5-1, 7-1 ARBs that they're doing that make the monthly payment less. And that's really what, for first-time home buyers, really the monthly payment is like I think the bigger barrier than just even the flat interest rate or coming up with a down payment. I think we can deal with the down payment. That's easier to deal with, but getting that monthly payment to something that is, maybe a little bit higher than the rent, but not too much higher than the rent is really what I think the biggest barrier is. And then the ratios. I'm sorry, I'm talking shop, I'm talking terms, but what I mean by ratios is your debt to income ratio. I'm sorry, we talk shop. So that's what I mean is, so certain, FHA or conventional has different debt to income ratio limits. And so you can only have your debt be so much percentage of your income. And so I think with FHA, you can go up to 50% or 49%, something like that. Conventional is like 45%. So the biggest issue is, can we get the payment to be where it needs to be with that? And so you can stay below your caps on your DTI or your debt to income ratio. And so that's one of the bigger barriers, I think, more than down payment, because there's down payment assistance programs out there. There's ways to get around that using Utah housing grants or silent second loans that we can get around not having a giant pile of cash.
Yeah.
So if that's your barrier, then talk to me. We can get around that. The other barrier is trying to find the right loan product to help you get the
I feel
best
like
rate.
that could be a little overwhelming.
It can be, and it's intimidating, and it's a big commitment. But you look at housing. One of the biggest indicators of being able to build wealth is home ownership. Yeah, and we try to break down why home ownership is so important to building wealth, is because it takes discipline, financial discipline, to be able to qualify to buy a home. Yeah. So that is sort of a predictor, right? So that the financial discipline creates a mindset and a behavior that leads to savings. So the mortgage is sort of like, yes, you're paying for that money. You see all these TikToks and stuff about people complaining about all the interest they're paying on their mortgages. I'm sorry, you've probably seen them. Oh, this is such many. And they're like, how dare I? Like, my student loan, I had to pay X number of dollars. Well, if you think about that student loan, you're renting the money. You didn't have the money to pay for that tuition out of your own pocket. So you took somebody else's money and you're renting it. Okay. And you have to pay for the use of that money over time. Yeah. And you have to give them so much money every month for using their money. And then you pay a little bit of that principal. That's what we call the money that you took to buy, your semester classes. You have to pay a little bit of that principal back, so that principal balance goes down.
But also the little bit of fee that it costs to
the interest, the rate. Yeah. So the rate is what is the rent that you're paying on that money. Yeah. That you negotiated when you took out the loan. Yeah. Okay. So of course, the lower the interest rate, the lower your interest payments are going to be, but you still are paying for the money that you rented from somebody else. Yeah. Because they don't have that money. That's gone to the university, or that's gone to the seller of your house. So that money's gone. So they're getting an income stream off the rent of their money. And I think people if they can understand that, then of course, the faster you pay off the principal balance, the less interest you're going to pay. Yeah. So, but, that's what interest is. That's why we can borrow money, because people are saying, well, I have this pile of money. It's not doing anything. I will lend it to you, and you can give me an income stream. I'll rent that money to you. You can use it to buy that thing, and then I'll get this income stream back. And that's what lending is. That's how, so that's how people can buy homes. Yeah. But that is also why people who can do that and be disciplined are able to build wealth, because in 5-10 years, they've built up equity in that home, and that home might also have appreciated. So every time you make a payment, you're putting some of that principal back into your part. The more of that home loan is going to be principal and less of it is going to be money that you still owe. So more of the equity is shifting to your side of the balance. And every month, more and more, a higher percentage of that monthly payment goes into your pocket. Then the home might appreciate. And so that also increases your wealth. So then that becomes a springboard for the future, for your next home, so that's why it's such a big predictor. And that's why I'm so passionate about trying to help people get into homes, because if they can be disciplined enough to get that mortgage, then they're going to be able to build wealth.
Yeah.
And be better positioned.
I feel like even I have friends that I talk to, and being in this real estate world, I'm like, oh yeah, you could totally get into a home depending on like what your situation is, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh yeah, like I will be able to get a home when I'm like 80.
I disagree. But I mean, honestly, there's this old saying in real estate. Some people say like, the best time to buy a home was 5 years ago. I'm sure you've heard this. The next best time to buy a home is today. Like, I don't believe that, because it's really an individual question. And it's really going to be dependent on what each individual person's situation is.
Oh, yeah.
And I should say there's 3 things you need to have to when it's the right time to buy the home. When you have 3 things, when you have an estimated time horizon of being here in the area for 5 years or more. Like, and that's an estimate, because life could throw you a curveball. Oh, right. Yes. So, nobody has, if we could all predict what everything was going to be like in 5 years, we'd all be super wealthy. Like, just like with interest rates. If we could predict the rates, we'd all be super wealthy. So, that's the first thing. And then the second thing is you can qualify for the loan, and so you qualify for a mortgage to buy a home. And then the third thing is we find the right home. Because you can have the first 2, but if we can't find a home that meets your needs, not necessarily your fantasy home, but meets your needs, then it's not the right time to buy. Because, the last thing you want to do is be in a home that you hate. Because every single day you could be like, I hate this. Yeah. So that's just so annoying. Who wants to live in a house that they hate? Nobody. Like, nobody. So let's find the right house. Yeah. And then we're ready to buy, because we've already gone through the first 2 steps. When we get to 3, we find the right home, we're ready to buy. Yeah. And we just go forward. So, but that's when it's the right time to buy. You have all 3 of those things.
Do you feel like the market has changed a lot by when you first started real estate to you started?
100%.
Well, right now,
I started in the middle of COVID, and it was absolute insanity.
How was that?
It was
starting
insane.
As a new agent?
It was insane.
Yeah.
First of all, we didn't have any in-person meetings. There was no sales meetings. I didn't hardly know any of the other agents because we couldn't have meetings.
Right. Nobody could go in person.
I had all my training classes on Zoom. It's like I did everything online. So, and that for a few months, we couldn't even do showings in Salt Lake County. And there was a doomsayer saying the market was going to crash. It didn't.
No.
And then the rates dropped to like 3 and below 3%, and then the market went completely bananas.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you were in the industry back then, but it went completely bananas.
I wasn't, but I bought my house in December of 21.
So you had to do multiple offers, I'm sure, and throw a lot of money around, and it was crazy.
Yeah, I actually lost my house. Like, we saw my house. And I don't know if anybody else like does this, but I like walked into my house and I like could feel like it was like my house. Like, you like know there's like this magical moment. There's like this connection that you're like,
and I see it in my clients' eyes, and this relief and this peace that comes over them, and like, okay, I think we found it.
Yes. So we put an offer in, and we got into like this bidding war, and we lost this bidding war. And the disappointment and like sadness that we would have to start all over. I would have to find a whole new home. Like, there's no other homes that would compare to this home that wasn't even mine.
Right.
And it was so hard, but the people that won the bidding war actually backed out.
Happens all about 25%.
And I was like, what?
Did you put up a backup offer?
I told them, I was like, my offer still stands at what it was because I knew that they were desperate to sell. Like
Right.
they needed to move like today.
So then
They accepted it.
Great.
They accepted it and
Backup offers, do them.
do them. Yeah.
It's not going to it's going to take your agent a few minutes, and it doesn't take that much time. And if you want that house, put in a backup offer because you never know.
Yeah. My agent was like on it. He was like, okay, this is like the offer. This is like, we were in
Perfect.
as soon as possible. And they, I think, needed like a week to move out because they were moving out of state.
Yeah.
So I think that they were already under contract
Probably.
under their home
Mm-hmm.
because they needed to move like yesterday.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting my dream home and I will be there for the rest of my life.
But you also have a below 3% rate.
Yes.
So it's great.
So
Don't you love that?
I do.
It's fantastic.
I do. I like look at rates now and I actually don't even know what rates are kind of looking at.
About 6.5.
6.5.
They were down around 6 before the Iran war, but they jumped up.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the oil, with our gasoline prices.
Oh, our gasoline prices are kind of sad, actually. Yeah. I filled up, and I'm usually like a $30, $40 for like a full tank. I hit, I think, like $65. And I have a small car. I have a Volkswagen Jetta. She's just a little car. And I was like, do you really need all of that? Like, I don't know.
No, I know.
It's
that, but because energy costs are going to, like the shock to the oil market, are going to trickle up into other costs going up. Yeah. And it's just like during the Biden administration when gasoline prices were in around $5 a gallon, 4.5 to 5. That's what spurred inflation because every single thing in this room had to be transported by energy.
Oh, yeah.
And so, so if you think about it, every banana that you eat had to be moved. Mm-hmm. So from the banana grower to you, that takes fuel, and that so that's going to be added to the price. So that any kind of increase in energy costs is going to increase inflation across the board.
How do you feel like inflation happens in homes?
We mean appreciation.
Appreciation.
So right now, Utah is about a little under 2%. Appreciation, but it's really varies. It varies. That's the whole state. But it's going to vary very between different areas.
Yeah.
Some areas are negative growth, and single family homes are different than condos, are different than townhomes. And so you get to see, with some areas, I would say in the East Bench, Salt Lake, and the East Bench of Utah County are, I would say, growing a little bit higher rate, but we're nothing like 2021 where it was pretty much vertical like this, like 5% a month or a week. Actually, I felt like it was like 5% a week.
It was growing.
It was going crazy. So yeah, there is some growth, but not extreme growth.
Yeah.
And the market has came down from its high of June of 2022. That's the peak.
That was the peak?
That was the peak. And the market dropped overall about 10% in Utah, everywhere, pretty much, when the rates jumped up to 6.5%, 7%. And we got up to like 7.5%. That's when things were like in 2022, 2023, market slowed down. And if you look at just transaction numbers, they're not quite back to where they were pre-COVID. So we're still like trying to work back to a normal market. The trend lines, they just spiked up like this. The trend line before COVID, we're almost getting to where it would have been if we would have stayed on our trend line, which, Utah was growing about 10%.
Yeah.
We were having decent 5 to 10% appreciation in different markets before COVID. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to get back to normal trend line, but we've been going sideways for a number of years.
Yeah.
On prices. But, I just don't think people should worry about that. If you're not ready to jump in, if you don't have the first hurdle met, then there's no point. Look, and if you're going to be moving in 2 years, there's just no point, right? Save up your money, get ready for when you do know when you're going to be, staying put. But if you are going to be staying put, then it's time to talk to a lender, talk to lenders, at least two. This is a rule. Talk to at least two lenders, preferably three, and get pre-approved and get your budget. Then it's time to find, an agent. So I'm aware between after number one and find your lender, somebody like me, and get busy shopping.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take you, at least a month, depending on your timeline, a month or two to find the right house.
Yeah.
And you'd want to, really, we're not in a rush. It's not the mad dash that you were in 21.
No.
I had to a new listing would come on the market that was and something close to anything any of my clients were looking for. And I would schedule a showing before I even texted it to them.
Yeah.
Because I had to. It's like, oh, I've got it. I got a showing schedule for this time. And you said you have, because we'd block out, showing times. And it's like, oh, I scheduled it. Let's go.
Let's go. We got to go right now.
We got to go. We can't wait. Well, it's an open house. We can't wait for the open house.
Yeah.
It won't be there. It's like.
It won't be there by the open house.
We have to go today.
Yeah.
And then you got to kick the tires. And then we get there and I'm like, okay, just breathe, because I want you to okay. And then if there was not even, I would just be reading them and okay, this isn't the right house. Let's move on.
Yeah.
It's like, this one doesn't work.
What is kind of your consultation to really know what your clients are looking for?
Well,
to find that right
I like
house.
to do that preferably, up front. We sit
Okay.
down in my office. I ask them a million questions, and I ask for permission to be nosy, but I want to know what they're really looking for, what they really want.
Yeah.
And then we prioritize them. Is a 3-car garage more important than a gourmet kitchen? Where were those, if we found a home with one of those two things, which one would matter more?
Mm-hmm.
And so try to prioritize them. And then, we're trying to find a home that meets as much of that as possible. But that's why we need to prioritize their their needs, their wants. I need to have 3 bedrooms and an office. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I work from home and we have 3 kids. And so, I want, a lot that's on a half-acre lot, but a half-acre, but I could do, but that's not necessarily as high a priority. So it's
It could be nice.
it'd be nice, yeah. Or
to.
you have a dog, and so we need a fenced yard, or and they say, well, can we fence it? Here's a fence. Here's a list of fencing companies. Can we find a home that not all the other things, but doesn't have the fence? Well, that's something we can add.
Yeah.
So let's not throw out the ones that don't have fences. It just needs to have a yard.
Yeah.
And a fenceable yard that is, it doesn't have a fence.
Yeah.
So when we were, doing the mad dash of insanity
Yeah.
back in 2021.
When you were running for homes.
Running.
Yeah.
Out the door. it was nuts. It was crazy.
Was that even a possibility to prioritize?
Yeah, you had to, because you had to know before you even got to the house. I needed to know what each client was looking for. So when I was screening listings that would pop up, I would even send the ones that wouldn't work. Because also I'd be asking deal breakers. Some people are master bathroom has to have a tub because they like to take baths.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to know that. I'm going to ask that question. Are you a bath or a shower person? Or are you both? And so it's well, I need to have a bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bath person, so don't judge me. I like to take baths.
See, and I'm not.
So there's some people who think taking baths is just disgusting and gross because you're sitting in your own skin and stuff. It's you're soaking in your own. But to me, it's just really relaxing. I love it. So for me, a house without a master bath is
a deal breaker
for me. But that's what you need to know. I need to know that, because as I'm looking through listings and that master bathroom does not have a bathtub, I'm not going to send it on to my client because
they need that bathtub.
They need that bathtub. They said that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be asking those kind of questions.
No, it makes sense. Real estate can be really demanding, and even in the craziness of just have to look at the market. This got posted 13 seconds ago. How can you kind of stay grounded on a work and home balance?
Well, it's difficult.
Yeah.
My kids are grown, so that's easier.
Oh yeah, you have your 2.
Yeah, my 2 kids are adults now with their own children. I'm a grandma. I love it.
Oh my God.
But you do have to like carve some time out and maybe turn your phone off. But
Yeah.
it's, but I mean, communication is super crucial too. So it's like, I think you just need to make time for yourself to have some downtime,
Yeah.
take vacations. It's a stressful
Mm.
job, so it could be stressful sometimes. And so you just need to, deal with, manage that. Exercise every day. I like try to exercise. Like I got on my stationary bike this morning, did a half hour of sprints. So, hits. I did some hits this morning. But yeah, you got to do exercise. You got to do things that you love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are good hobbies that you have other
Well,
than just like?
I like to hike the
Ooh.
mountains, beautiful mountains of Utah. I mean, and I love to read. And I'm in a book group, so I do a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
And cook. I just got done doing a big Greek Easter party at my house, and it was so much fun.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite hike up here?
Well, I think the Grove Creek to Battle Creek loop is one of my favorites.
Oh.
But there's so many I haven't done yet. There's just so many to do.
Yeah.
So I did Brighton Lakes last year. I really love that. It was really fun. Last November, I hiked the Grand Canyon rim to rim with my sister and a big group of ladies, and that was a blast, and I would love to do that again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like going on walks and trails is really good for the brain. Like it
100%.
helps your brain so much. Where I feel like when you go back into the office, you feel more focused. At least that's my take on it.
100%.
Yeah.
Forest bathing. The Japanese know all about that.
What is it?
It's called forest bathing.
Oh, I've never
I don't
heard
know
of
the
that.
Japanese word for it, but it's the idea of going into nature is calming and centering.
Oh my gosh.
Look it up.
I am going to look it up. Actually, that'd be great. Cause yeah, I have a healer dog and she needs to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, let's go outside. Let's go, walk around. And I end up being more refreshed than she is. Like, I'm like, wow, this was quite nice. Thanks for making me do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, go outside, people. With your life right now, you said you're a grandma and you are still a top agent. With your real estate business, what are the different ways that you go and prospect now?
Well, I do a newsletter to my past clients and my sphere influence
Your SOI.
and
Yes.
SOI, what we call that.
Your
And people are important to me. So I do a monthly newsletter.
Mhm.
Goes out to everybody. Where I just I do like a personal essay, first page, talk about my life. And then on the back side, I usually do some kind of market spotlight or something like that. And just have a little calendar of events, things like that. But it's just a way for me to stay in touch. And then I try to call each of my past clients at least 4 times a year. So just stay in touch with them,
Yeah.
see what's going on in their life, just stay up to date with what's happening and, ask for referrals. So I
Yeah.
do ask straight up.
Straight
That
up.
is one of the things that I was really uncomfortable with when I first started is asking for referral business. But, I got to the point where I realized, well, why wouldn't I want people that they know to have a great agent?
Yeah.
Why not me? And I should have the confidence to ask for the business. So I do. I ask everybody.
Yeah.
And my children are sick of me asking if they know anybody who is looking to buy or sell. But I do. I ask
Yeah.
my kids on the regular.
On the regular?
I do. And they actually have sent me referrals. So
That's so sweet.
it's like, but no, I mean, why would I be in this? Once again, if you're not, why would you not ask? If you feel like you do a great job for somebody, you would want the business. And so ask for the business. When I meet new people, I ask, to chance to earn their business.
Mm-hmm.
You got to build trust. Now, somebody you just meet, like I'm on a referral team and somebody you just meet, they don't know you.
Yeah.
So, I don't expect them to trust me right off the bat. So I ask to earn that trust and show what I can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course I want to build that relationship and keep them, keep connected with them. So I can be a resource for them in the future.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we are actually almost all out of time. So our last question is, what advice would you give a brand new agent that got their license today? What is the way to go?
So, I I consider myself a full-time. I know this is hard because a lot of people do this as a part-time gig or as a side gig for just friends and family or just for their own investments. That's like a whole different category.
Yeah.
If you're doing this as like, you want to do this as a full-time job, I think you just have to go in, just jump in both feet first and just accept the fact that you're not going to feel like you know what you're doing at first. And just accept that that's okay.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out. Just like every other thing, and every time you tried something new, anything that's worth pursuing is going to be hard, and accept that, and then just dive in, and get to the grind, because you can't get better without just embracing the grind.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, just look at professional athletes. I think they're really good metaphor. Nobody became great by just wishing it to happen.
Oh, consistency is key.
You have to be consistent, and you have to do the little things well.
Mm-hmm.
And you need help. So you need a mentor, or you need a training program that's going to give you that support. You have to go find it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the majority of new agents. So if you want to do this, just know it's going to be hard. Accept it.
Yeah.
Embrace the suck and embrace the grind at first. And then you're going to build your business. You build your book, you build your contacts and your connections, and rely and get into an environment that you feel is supportive and helping you, mentor you, and give you and answer your questions or help you solve problems that you haven't, had to deal with before.
Yeah.
So
that was great.
That's what you need to do.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. And we will catch you guys on the next episode.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please rate us, like us, and share this podcast with our real estate community. The Nova Show Real Estate Record, sharing raw stories of real estate, failures, lessons, wins, and successes. This is all from Novation Title, bringing a different experience into your world so that we can all uplift each other. Until next time.